Online retailers surging. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I thought we'd have a look at this news.com.au article discussing two online retailers here in Australia whose earnings have surged during the economic lockdown. Now, the reason I want to highlight this, and I think it's good that James Hall has prepared this article, was because, well, Australia's been suffering a bit of a retail recession, particularly since the beginning of the year. It felt like every other episode we were looking at another article discussing such and such in administration, such and such shutting down, trying to find a buyer for all their shops, Ishkar closing down, although they've come back again. So many jobs at risk. Shopping centres closing down. And if you walk around some of the shopping centres, you can see hoarded up shops, or where they try and trick you to appear more full than they actually are. They fill up these spaces with, display areas, or even reading, borrow a book, leave a book, library things. So Aussie online retailer Temple and Webster earnings surged 500% during the coronavirus lockdown. And why this is important is, I bet you we're going to see a cultural shift. There's going to be more and more people that are used to online shopping. And there are going to be more and more businesses that use this as an opportunity to cut costs. Some of them will need to do it. Others will do it just to push through something they've wanted to do. You're seeing banks. Banks are shutting branches. Some will never reopen. I received an email from someone, and I will bring that up. Banks are avoiding actually taking cash deposits. Now, this was sent to me by a viewer. It's a photograph that was shared on social media. Apparently, that someone received from Westpac. Now, I'm trying to find any evidence that this is legitimate, but here's the changes. We're writing to let you know that cash and check deposits at Westpac are set to change from July 1. Well, effective July 1, 2020, cash deposits will be limited at branches from unlimited to 7,500. From the 30th of August, they will cease being accepted at Westpac branches. At the 30th of December, check deposits will cease being accepted at Westpac branches. Now, people are concerned this is a push to cashless. What I would argue, what I suspect is going on here, it's a push to getting people to use ATMs. It's a push to reduce staffing numbers, reduce costs. All the fear of having to handle cash, for this illness, when you can just put the cash in sunlight and it will protect you. So it's not a big concern, everyone. That's what I suspect. Let me know if you have any information, or if you're a Westpac customer and have received this. If we can confirm that would be good. But that is what I would suspect is happening. An opportune, time to push more people into paperless banking. Paperless banking. That's what it is. Then we have a look here. This is an article, a feature from 9 News, where they're discussing contactless shopping at Woolworths. You can go in, and I'll link to this if you want to see the footage. You can go in, get your item, scan it on your phone, and then just walk to a checkout, scan that, and it gets paid at the end. You don't need to deal with anyone. Fantastic. You don't need checkout operators. You'll need less managers. You'll need less people at the kiosks. You'll need only shelf packers for now. What do you think? It's already happening in 17 stores in New South Wales, 1 in Victoria and 1 in Queensland. I would see this is another example where they've been trying to push this out, and this is an opportunity just to emphasize the benefit of it. We're doing it for your good. We're cutting our costs for your good. Hopefully they'll pass these savings that they get onto customers, and I'm sure they'll be forced to. But I'll continue to shop at Aldi, a shop that pays above award for their members and isn't a union shop. Funny that. How does that work, everyone? Aren't the unions meant to have higher pays? There we go. So let's have a look at this. Online furniture retailer Temple and Webster has completed a remarkable transformation from hemorrhaging cash to today reporting an earnings surge of nearly 500% due to the reliance for customers to shop on the web during the pandemic lockdown. And I can't imagine any of these things that we're going to see here are actually manufactured in Australia. And this was source supplied. So is this a, news article, which is really a press release? We'll have to see. Just 3 years ago, the online-only business had revealed a loss of $44.4 million, but its fortunes were beginning to turn by the end of last year when it reported a 50% jump in revenue over a 6-month period. The company has long banked on its customer base, a tech-suave millennials rolling into maturity with the cash and need to furnish their first homes. But it couldn't have envisaged how viral online shopping would become as the pandemic forced the population indoors and bricks and mortar outlets closed. Given what's happening out there and the terrible situation with the pandemic, there are a lot of people turning to online who are non-millennials. So it's not just this group driving the adoption right now, Temple & Webster Chief Executive Mart Coulter told news.com.au. There are a lot of people in all age brackets, income brackets, and all demographics that are turning to online out of necessity. So it's our job to make sure they have a great experience. The company's earnings soared 483% to $8.5 million over the 19-20 financial year, while revenue jumped 74% to $176.3 million. Its share price has lifted nearly 200% this year, closing at $8.23 on Tuesday, and Temple & Webster is now worth nearly $1 billion. I mean, there you go. There you go, guys. A large portion of the whopping result was attributed to its unusual access to Aussies shopping online during the extraordinary period, coupled with desperate need for home office furniture. I guess, yeah, I mean, there'd be some people that probably aren't set up at home, and this is their first experience working at home. I mean, you can see all the furniture behind me, all the timber there, the black timber, that's all stained ply. That was other elements of our office when we had a retail fit out. The reason we did it with ply was that we can repurpose it. On the other side of the camera, behind my 6 computer screens, I've got all these bookcases that I just store all the trade literature. I only have about 300 mils to get to it. I'm pretty cramped in here in the studio, but it all fits. It all fits and works. And because, well, I built it all ourselves with just simple material, it's pretty easy to adjust. So I guess, there'd be some people that would drive for that. Did you buy these shares, guys? Did you buy it anticipating a surge in office furniture? But its results towards the end of 2019 meant Temple & Webster had the business model in place to capitalize on the e-commerce surge, while its competitors were scrambling to pivot to a fully functioning online operation. We already had our cost base under control, we already had complete control over the market levers, and we already had strong relationships with our product suppliers. We were already in a pretty good position, and what that allowed us to do when we needed it was to scale quickly, he continued. E-commerce is a scale game, so you start to see operational leverage because the revenue grows faster than the cost base, as opposed to other industries where you need to keep investing in showrooms or stores. You need physical costs to drive the revenue. Whereas with online, you don't need to do that. That's what we're starting to see now as the revenue growth translates into proper growth. The challenge for the market leader now lies in its ability to retain customers as traditional stores reopen, its chief executive told news.com.au. If we've done a good job in looking after customers and they've had a good experience shopping from their home online with us, then there's no reason for them to at least consider us when they're next considering items for their home, he said. Before, they may not have. They may have always jumped in the car and gone to the furniture store. He's right. What he's highlighting here is that we're going to see a cultural shift. And it'll be interesting to see how that manifests in employment data and how that manifests in the real estate investment trusts that hold a lot of these centers. Maybe it's starting to make sense why last year we were looking at Stockland, who were divesting $1 billion worth of their centers. Whereas now, they might think it was really good quality, it's really good value, service was good, and the delivery was quick. So at least then, when they're coming to buy the next product from home, we'll be in there with a consideration. And he's probably right. And the flow-on effects of that are something that we'll all have to consider. What do you think, everyone? Have you, ramped up your online purchases, your online shopping? Let me know. What do you think? Do you think this will affect retail? How will this manifest in the unemployment data, particularly for the retail sectors? I'm just waiting for the women worst affected articles to appear, which they will, Because, I mean, it's just the demographic that's attracted to retail. The flexibility that it offers, you know, more women are going towards it. That's not sexist, that's reality. So we'll have to see, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next episode.